Yo, what's up, dudes? It's your boy Eagle Breva, and I'm here with episode 22 of my Borderlands 2 Unique Weapons Guide. And today, guys, I have a special one, the shotgun for you, known as the Twister. In my case, we got the Shock Twister. OP level 10, the red text says putting trouble on the run. This is going to be a little bit of a different video, man, because the mini boss that drops this weapon is Triple O or Amd Ak. And to get Amd Ak to spawn, it is very difficult, especially if you guys are going in solo, man. So I actually made a video the other day that goes over how to spawn Triple O. So of course I'll put that in the description, and I'll also put a card in the top right. So I recommend checking out that video first, and then you'll be able to farm for this thing, man. And really the big difficulty with this is getting Triple O to spawn. Again, that video will show you how to do that in solos. Of course, we're going to show you guys how to get this thing. We're going to show you guys the drop, and then give you some gameplay and go through the wiki at the end. So to get this gun, we're going to fast travel to Skilla's Grove, and as I mentioned, we're going to be farming Triple O for this gun, or Amd Ak. Of course, that video will show you all the details in here, but of course in this video I'm just going to show you guys the drop. So basically you'll just want to follow the route that I take, and when it comes to solos, getting Triple O to spawn is actually a 1% chance. With multiple players, there's a higher chance to get Triple O, as he is a rare spawn. But if you're in solos, you have a 1% chance to drop or to get Triple O to spawn. And to get him to spawn, he's going to be spawned from these badass savages. So what I did is I came to this area, cleared out everybody from this area that was not a badass savage or a witch doctor, because you do need to have a witch doctor available to level up the badass savages to super badass, then to ultimate badass, and then of course that fourth one level up will be to Triple O potentially. So if you do everything that I show in the video, in that last video on how to spawn Triple O, you will have 4 enemies, 3 savages and 1 of the witch doctors. So in this case, you pretty much just want to pepper them up a little bit, try to keep them aggroed on you, and hope that Triple O spawns. If Triple O does not spawn after the ultimate badass, there is a way to reset that. And again, I go over all that in that video. You'll be able to reset them back to badass without having to clear out all those enemies in this area, and it just makes it a lot easier. I did probably spent about a good 4 hours trying to get Triple O to spawn, so it took freaking forever. Yeah, it is what it is, you know. That's what we got to do to get these uniques, man. So there's Triple O. We do get Triple O to spawn at that point finally, and you still have to kill Triple O. So the good thing, I guess, about the Twister is that it does drop 33% of the time, so it's a pretty high chance. I feel like most of these uniques are around 33%, so you do have a good chance of getting it once you spawn Triple O. It's just getting Triple O to spawn is a 1% chance, and then you have to kill him afterwards. I'm using the Ahab Pimpernel, which does take a while to take him out. You can see that it is still taking quite a bit of shots to get the kill there, but you can see, guys, there is the Twister drop again. A 33% chance for Triple O to drop the Twister. However, it's a 1% chance for Triple O to spawn. So the spawn part's the difficult part. Once you get him to spawn, then the 33% chance to get the Twister is a pretty good chance, and pretty high chance there. So anyway, guys, there's the drop. Now let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay and go through the wiki. Twister is an aftermarket unique shotgun in Borderlands 2 manufactured by Jacobs. It is exclusive to the Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt DLC and can be obtained as a rare drop from Amd Ak. The special weapon effects, the red text says putting trouble on the run, always shock. Fires a cluster of spherical projectiles that quickly transform into a tornado over a short distance. You guys can see, man, as I'm shooting this thing, it's actually shooting in the form of a tornado. And I've never really used the Twister. I know the game's been out for what, it hit its 11th year recently, so I know it's been out for 11 years, but I've pretty much stuck to just the more base type weapons, the weapons that a lot of people use, the Unkempt Herald, the Sandhawk, stuff like that. So this series really is getting me to use these guns, and the Twister, man, is actually a really fun one to use. I could see it being absolutely insane with Gage and Gage's shock damage. I am rocking Maya in this gameplay, and I am using the B shield, but if you guys pay attention, most of the time the B shield is actually down, so it's not getting the amp damage. Of course, there are some cases where I get the amp damage, but a lot of times I'm getting blasted and pretty much don't have any amp damage going on, so you can kind of take that at face value. The usage and description says, shock is the only available element for the Twister. As a result, its greatest functionality comes from interacting with enemies with shields. Due to the nature of the weapon, its optimal range matches that most of shotguns with lower accuracy. However, due to the Twister's unique spread pattern, a majority of projectiles will find their way to larger enemies after the projectiles take on the more narrow tornado-like formation. It's not very efficient on ammunition as it consumes 4 ammo per shot, despite this not showing on the weapon card. So 4 ammo per shot, and it's probably going to be best, again, with larger type enemies. Also, enemies that are grouped together, I think it definitely does the trick. It takes out and can hit pretty much all of them at once with one shot. And this thing is just overall fun, man. There are some notes on this. The Twister has an unusual characteristic of being a Jacob's weapon with an elemental capacitor. When used by Zero, with the point in the bore skill, the individual projectiles can strike the same target more than once for a heavily increased damage owing to the swirling tornado-like pattern spread. So if you guys are using Zero and are using the bore option, which I feel like most Zeros do, could potentially do a lot of freaking damage, man, and definitely really good to try that out. Twister deals an additional 40% splash damage on each projectile. This splash damage counts as grenade damage and can also activate Bloodbath, as well as receive increased damage from any grenade damaging boost effects. So Krieg, even Axon has some grenade damage buffs. You guys can maybe get even more damage out of this. I do have a shock relic kind of going through this gameplay, but nothing's really spec'd into, of course, with Maya grenade damage or shock damage, so you'll probably get a better effect if you are using some of those type of boosts there. The Twister is especially powerful on Gauge. The swirling projectiles can potentially trigger the 9th degree multiple times and then be reflected by close enough to deal further damage and trigger 9th degree again. Care should be taken to aim shots so they hit the ground or a second enemy to ensure maximum damage. So if you guys are using Gauge, as I mentioned, definitely going to get a lot out of the Twister. You definitely need to get this gun, man. Again, it is very difficult to get, but it is super fun. It's a really cool gun to have, and it almost is rewarding for how long it took having this gun. You know, I know a lot of players don't have this gun, so if you guys go get this gun yourself, you'll probably be a small percentage of players that actually do have the Twister. So anyway, guys, that was the episode, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, if you did, be sure to hit the thumbs up, man. Sub to the channel. We only have a few more uniques left. I think maybe only a couple, but this series has been awesome. We're going to move on to Seraphs here pretty shortly and just having a blast in Borderlands 2, even 11 years later. Again, guys, appreciate y'all for stopping by, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.